Welcome back. So finally, this is the last video of week one, and we are going to talk about arrays. So let's get started. What is an array? So arrays are list of value. They are used to store multiple values written between curly brackets and separated by commas. So let's create our first array. Let my array equal to, let's say, Uday, Jalal, and Sam, for example. Let's print it on the console. So, okay, so as we see over here, we got an array, and if we remember in objects, we were referring to each property by the key. So let's remember that we had the car object, which has the wheels property, and if you want to know how many wheels we have in the car object, we do car dot wheels, and we get the value. In index, it's a bit different. So each element inside the array, it has a numeric position. We call it index, and the index started from 0. So the index of Uday is 0, Jalal is 1, and Sam is 2. So if we want to get the value of the first element inside the array, we can do my array 0, and we get Uday. The second one is Jalal. We do my array dot 1, or curly brackets 1, and we get the second element. Interesting thing. So also array have the length property, and if you print it on the console, we see that it is 3. So the index is 0, 1, 2, because it starts counting from 0, and for the length is 1, 2, and 3. So how can we use the links, for example, inside the array? So if I said that I want to get the last element inside the array without knowing the content of the array. So let's imagine that, let's assume that there is an array, it has X amount of element inside it, and we want to get the last one. So what we can do is my array dot length minus 1. Why? Because the last index is, in our example here, is 2, and the length of the array is 3. So 3 minus 1, it's 2. Let's try it. So Sam. And when we write this code, it doesn't matter how many elements inside the array. So we will get the last one without knowing the content of the array. One thing also I want to mention about arrays, it doesn't have to contain one data type. So you can have like numbers, object, for example, inside it, also Boolean, so it can contain different kind of data. Let's print our array again. Run it on the console. Yep. So how can I change the first element inside the array? So let's remember the index. If we want to reach to the first element of the array, we do my array, the first index, equal to some other name. And if we bring the array again, we see the value changed. One interesting thing, since we talk about index, so let's create a variable called string, and let's log string 0. Think about it for a couple of seconds. Is it gonna give an error? Is it going to give us like a result? What do you expect? So the answer is it's going to print O, which is the first letter of Uday. So string also have the index. You can access the string by index. Let's do a quick exercise. I want you to create, let's say, an array of your favorite food at the beginning. So pause the video, and after you have it done, let's continue together. So let food equal to okay, this is a tough question. Let's go for this. Okay, it's just a great combination, you know, gums, lollipops, and kebab. Hopefully no one will make a meme out of this, but let's take this example. So, after you finish creating the array, let's change the first element. So pause the video and change the content of the first element. Cool, let's print it on the console and let's see the difference. So as we see here, before changing the content of the first element, it's gum, and then it's banana. How can we add a value to the end of the array? So we have a built-in function. You can Google it, read about it. It's push. So it's a method. You can use it on arrays. And basically what this method do is it adds a new element to the end of the value. So if I did push, let's say number 2020, and I print it. So as we see here, we added a new number. You can read online about push. There is also, if I remember correctly, there is shift, which add a new element to the beginning of the array. There is many methods you can use on arrays. You can read about it in mdn array.push. So you can read the documentation over here. There is some code examples, and you can go through the documentation to understand like what push does, and what we see there is like a bunch of other functions. We can use them on arrays. So yes, that was it for week 1. I would like to hear your feedback if you want like to change the way I'm making the videos, because I decided to go for small videos. It just feels like you can progress more, and maybe it's easier to reference. So if you want to remember something, you can go back to the video. Please write me feedback on Slack, and I wish you good luck, and see you on Sunday.